Alright YouTube, DFishman76 here. This is going to be a video on beef fondant. I've tried it a couple times so far. I hadn't had it to come out exactly the way I want it. So this is going to be attempt number 4. The other ones I was able to use them, but it just didn't, it weren't exactly the way I wanted it. So I'm trying something new. This recipe is 4-to-1 by weight. So 4 pounds of sugar to 1 pound of water. 2 cups of sugar equals 1 pound, and 2 cups of water equal 1 pound from what I've found on the internet. So I got 12 cups of sugar, 3 cups of water, and I'm going to use a teaspoon and a half of vinegar. The vinegar works out to a 1/4 teaspoon per pound of sugar. I think I got all my measurements right. We're going to try it and find out, but I'll show you as I'll go along what I'm doing and all that other stuff. This is my first year as a beekeeper going into the winter time. Right now it's the very end of January. We're knocking on February hard. So I'm going to make some more fondant up so I can put it in my beehives. We've had a warm spell here, and the bees have been flying pretty good, so I know they've burned through some of their honey stores and stuff. But more or less doing this so this spring my bees will go ahead and hop on off and get a good start. I'm going to try to do some splits. I'm going to do a little bit of queen rearing this spring. I'm going to be doing some videos on that too, but this is the start of the video on the bee fondant. I'm fixing to get everything put in the pot and get this thing rolling. Stick around and I'll show you what we're doing. Alrighty, I'm putting my water and my vinegar into my pot and letting it come up to a boil. I think it works out a little bit better today than that. I went to Walmart today and bought me a thermometer, if you can see it because of the steam. I had a cheap one that was like $4, and it seemed to always mess up. I think I used it twice and it was messed up. So I went and bought this one from Walmart. I think it was $10 or something like that, but it's a metal one. I think it's going to last a whole lot better or a whole lot longer. I think it'll be a little bit easier to clean too. But when your water comes up to a boil, you want to add your sugar in, and you want to constantly stir it to start with until you get your water incorporated into your sugar. Now when you first dump it in there, it's going to look like there's not a whole lot of water in there, but it won't take it long, and the sugar will start dissolving and you'll start getting to where you need to be at. With this, it's a little bit better to have too much water than not enough, because eventually once you get it up to temperature, you're going to boil the water out of it anyway, or get most of it out. That way it hardens up like it's supposed to be. With candy making, it's always a temperature thing. If you get it too hot, then it's going to be, the sugar will be too hard and you won't be able to use it for doing your fondant and stuff. So we're fixing to add the sugar and we'll get ready to rock and roll. Alright, here's the next stage that we're at. I've turned the heat down just a little bit. We're sitting at probably 238 I meant. We're probably around 238, which is in the bottom range of where we want to be at. So I'm going to start my timer, and you want to boil this for about 15 minutes. So you get more of the water out that you put in, and which makes it a little bit harder, or makes it more pliable, or whatever you want to call it. I just screwed that up. Alright YouTube, we're back again. We're a little bit over 3 minutes left in the boiling part of this. Right now I got it turned down to 2. As the water evaporates out of this, the temperature of your sugar starts rising rapidly, so I've actually cut it down to 2. We're still at a little bit of a boil, and we're bumping 240 degrees, so I don't want to go much higher than that, just because as sugar heats up, it goes through different stages from the thread, soft ball, to firm ball, to hard ball, to soft cracked, and to hard cracked. All those that are different temperatures that the sugar goes through. We're trying to keep it into the soft ball range. That way it's still pliable and usable when it gets down to a lower temperature. So just wanted to give you that little information. Watch your temperature as you're doing this, because you can go from, as I like to say, from zero to hero in no time, and then the little bit of money that you have spent on making this was for nothing. You can more or less put it outside and hope that the bees use it. So that was just a little bit of a tip. Once it's done boiling, I'll show you how I'm going to cool this off for a little bit, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with it in the mixer. Alright, next step I'm going to use, some people don't like doing this, but I'm actually going to take this sugar and set it down. This is cool water, not the cologne, but the temperature. I'm going to set this down into the cool water, and I'm actually going to stir it a little bit. As you will see, it won't take it long to start setting up. That's the consistency it is right now. But as this water starts cooling the pot off, this sugar syrup will start setting up. As a matter of fact, just that quick, it's starting to set up. Now this stuff is still smoking hot. But I'm just going to stir it for a little bit and try to get it cooled off, because like I said, I'm going to do more than one batch of this today, and this just kind of speeds this little bit of a process up. That way I can get on with whatever else I've got to do. If you actually sit and let this cool off just by the air temperature in the room and all that other stuff, you're looking probably 2 to 3 hours at least. So I can cut that down by at least a quarter, if not quicker, by doing it this way. So I'm going to stir this for a little bit, and then I'll get my mixer bowl over here and pour it into it, and we'll get it started mixing so you can see what that looks like. Alright, here's your next step. This is my KitchenAid blender with the whisk attachment on it. All you got to do at this point in time, you got to start this off kind of slow because you don't want it sloshing out. Put your whisk down, and this is blenders get a little loud and this camera's awfully close, but all you do is put it on whisk. This take for a little bit. Once you start whipping the air into it, it cools the mixture down, and you'll be able to tell when it's time to take it off away from the mixer by the sound of the mixer itself. This will actually turn white like the fondant you get on cakes and stuff, but I'm going to start the mixer up, let you watch it for a few seconds, and go from there. Like I said, it'll take it a while to mix. Take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. It just depends on how cool your mixture is and how high you can turn your mixer up. So I'm going to start this up, and as it goes through the process of changing colors from translucent down to the white, I'll keep checking in with it. Have to plug the blender up. So I'm going to get this started. Like I said, I'll show you as it goes along what it looks like. Well, normally I put this in on paper plates, but me and my oversight didn't check how many plates I got. I only got 5 plates here, so we're gonna try something. Hopefully this works out good. This is wax paper. I think this comes from probably Food Line. If y'all don't know what Food Line is, you're not in the South. It's a local grocery store here. It's like a big chain grocery store. But anyway, what I'm gonna do, I got just a regular bath towel that I put down here, and I'm making a trough out of it. I don't know how well this is gonna work. This is kind of a fly-by-night thing. I'm gonna take a little bit of cooking spray to help even more with the non-stick part of it. Just spray a little bit of that on there. This is the consistency. This is what it looks like now. I'm gonna pour it down the middle, and what I do with my fondant is I try to get it to the thickness of what I need it to be, so I can just lay it straight on the frames. I've got some inner covers that I made myself, so I know about what kind of room I need, so I don't crush bees and I have room to actually get up on top of the fondant. That should be about enough in that. I would wipe it off, but it is still extremely warm. But you can see the consistency of it. With the plates, what you can do too, I need to spray that. Let me set that right there. Hopefully it will stay. I got the towel down as a kind of a temperature barrier, so it don't get too hot. Matter of fact, I need to put something down. Set these plates on. But when I do the plate thing, all I do with it is I put my plates out like this right here. Put a bit of cooking spray on them and just pour the fondant in the middle of it. Some people do it in big sheets. Some people's got candy boards that they make just for the beehives. I don't do all that. For one, I don't have time, and two, I think it's a waste of wood. But I just pour it in here to the thickness that I need. I got a lot of 10 frame equipment, and I got a couple of 5 frame nukes. And my nukes they got migratory covers on them, so they don't have as much room as my other ones do. But that's the general senses of it right there. Once this cools off, I'll show you what else I'm going to do with it and what kind of thickness we got out of it and how that works out. So that's the other process to it. When I get to the next step, I'll show you again. Hi YouTube, this is the second batch that I did. You know, I said I didn't have very many paper plates, so I had to use the trough method that I just invented from necessity. But you put it in the plates. See how thick or thin you can make the stuff? That way you can just lay it right on top of the frames, so the bees can come up and eat it from the bottom, and they can get on top of it and eat it too. So this is the end of the video for actually making the bee fondant. I'll do some videos on putting it on the frames and stuff. This little method right here that I had to come up with, looks like it's going to work pretty good, because it's separating off of the wax paper a lot better than what I thought it was going to do. So once it really does cool all the way off, I think that's going to be pretty good. The flatter you can get it, and the more you can get it to spread out, the thinner it's going to be. But the recipe that I give you, I'm going to try to put it in the comments down below. I really like the way it come out. It's a whole lot better than what I'd done before. The other stuff was really grainy, and this is actually coming out pretty smooth. It's got a little bit of a tack to it, which is fine. but I think once it dries off a little bit more, it's going to be even better. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, check like, make comments. If there's other stuff you want to see, like I said earlier, this is my first year in doing the beekeeping thing. I'm going to try to grow this business. I'm really liking the beekeeping thing, and I'm going to actually try to get up big enough to a couple hundred hives where I can do pollination contracts and all that other stuff. But if you want to watch a beginner beekeeper fumble through and learn stuff and be able to share what to do and what not to do, this is a channel that you'll get to be able to learn from my mistakes and learn from the stuff that I actually fumble through and end up doing right. So hope everybody's doing good. More videos up coming. Hope y'all have a good afternoon wherever you are at.